All right, hello again, everybody, and here we are. We are in round 3 now of this the KCCL 19th Century Dead Ball Tournament, and so tonight's combatants, if you will, be the 1907 Chicago Cubs and the 1908 Cleveland Naps. I hope you enjoy it. This is the next two. This is round 3. So rounds 3 and 4 are best of 7. So Chicago and Cleveland have been waiting. They were waiting the end of the 1885 and 1894, the 1894 Orioles and 1885 White Sox, the end of that series, and the Orioles took that one 3-2. They'll be facing the 1884 Providence Grays. But without further ado, hey, there is Nathaniel Lentz. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you at the ballpark. And we are on our way there. All right. Should be a fun game. And we have Carl Lundgren going for the Chicago Cubs against Hall of Famer Addie Joss for the Cleveland Naps. And we're on our way to Westside Park. And there's Big Clue. He says, howdy, howdy. Nathaniel did it. Nathaniel bought Action PC Baseball today. Welcome to the Action PC True Faith. Hope you enjoy it and you love it. Awesome, man. You start getting some player photos in there, start getting some more ballparks. So you're in our Discord, so we'll start getting you hooked up. Glad you're loving it. All right, this should be a fun game. Let's get out to the ballpark. All right, let's look at the weather here. At Westside Park in Chicago, Illinois. It's 46 degrees, clear, and the winds 10 miles left to right. Starting defense for the 1907 Chicago Cubs in left field, Jimmy Shecker. In center, Jimmy Slagle. And in right, Frank Wildfire Schulte for first to third around the horn. At first base, the peerless leader, Frank Chance. At second, the Crab, Johnny Evers. At short, Joe Tinker. And at the hot corner, Harry Steinfeld. Catching will be Johnny Kling. And pitching, Carl Lundgren. Lundgren in 1907 for these Cubs, who would go on to defeat the Detroit Tigers in the World Series. And the 1907 Tigers were eliminated way back in round 1. So we'll see a replay of that World Series. 1.17 earned run average for Carl Lundgren. 18 wins, 7 losses, 207 innings pitched, 92 walks, 84 strikeouts. The National League hit 189 against Carl Lundgren in 1907. Josh Clark will lead it off here. left fielder for these Cleveland Naps. In the tournament, Josh is hitting 276 with 2 runs batted in. So sit back, relax, or roll up a game, or what have you, and enjoy some old school baseball, as RJL Network refers to what I do on this channel, old school baseball. So, station identification, be right back. So Nathaniel already coming out with the questions, and this game goes as quickly as last night. I'll show you some stuff at the end, how to do it. Super easy. So photos, how to get them, where to put them, super easy. And ballparks are fun. We'll show you ballparks. And yes, I didn't bother doing logos for this. It's just a tournament. So here we go. Josh Clark and Carl Lundgren facing off here as we get underway here at Westside Park. Lundgren fastball, and Clark sends this to first base. The peerless leader will take it to the bag unassisted for out number 1. And that brings up hot corner man Bill Bradley. Bradley hitting .304 in this tournament, 2 runs batted in. Lundgren has the sign from Johnny Kling, and here's the 2-0. Fastball. Bradley swings on this. Chopper up the middle. Johnny Evers ranging to his right, fires onto Frank Chance for the 4-3 putout. So 2 up and 2 down here in the first, and brings up first baseman George Stovall for the Cleveland Naps. A .407 average in this tournament. A home run, 8 runs batted in. Stovall in 1908 for the Cleveland Naps hit .292, so performing above expectations. Lundgren ready to deal the 0-2 pitch. Fastball, Stovall, hard ground ball to Joe Tinker on to Frank Chance, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. So Cleveland goes in order. We go to the bottom of the first inning. The Cleveland Naps nothing, and the 1907 Chicago Cubs coming to bat. This is a tough Cleveland team. It's the only one of these teams in this entire tournament not to have won any sort of pennant or championship. Cleveland, not necessarily, even looking back to like the Spiders. So the Spiders had really only one bad year, and I can always tell when somebody's not terribly conversant with 19th century baseball history, because they'll talk about the horrible Cleveland Spiders, but the Cleveland Spiders were only bad in 1899 because their rosters were raided. They were going bankrupt. But the Cleveland Spiders were contenders throughout the 1890s. The problem with Cleveland, kind of like with St. Louis, is they really didn't get into the postseason thing until kind of after this period. So the St. Louis Cardinals, for example, which the team second to the Yankees in most World Series and all that kind of stuff and championships, their first World Series wasn't until 1926. So one of the reasons why you're not seeing a Cardinals team in these tournaments, but we will put a Cardinals team in here from the dead ball era just so we can draft for the next McGreevy. But these Cleveland Naps took care of the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates to move ahead to round 3. All right. Let's look at Addy Joss first. Let's look at the starting defense here for the Cleveland Naps. In left field, Josh Clark. In center, Joe Birmingham. In right, Bill Hinchman. At first base, George Stovall. At second, the immortal Napoleon Lajoie. At short, George Perring. At third, Bill Bradley. Doing the catching duties, Nig J. Clark. J. Clark is real name, Nig Clark. And Hall of Famer Addy Joss. Addy Joss in 1908 for Cleveland. A 1.12 earned run average, so microscopic. 24 wins, 11 losses, 2 saves, 338 and 2/3 innings pitched, 30 walks, 130 strikeouts, a whip of .774. And the American League hit only .191 against Addy Joss. A great, great year for a great, great pitcher. Dave Little here at the ballpark, enjoying a little bit of old time baseball. And there's Clinton Parks. No, Clinton, until I can figure out how to get you guys here on at the same time, we're holding on as far as the Orioles and Grays go. So once we can get that figured out, so in the meantime, we'll carry forward with this one, with this part of round 3. So welcome in, Clinton. Addy Joss delivers to the peerless leader. Here's the 1-1 fastball. This one foul tip. This one we get back into the screen. So the count now 1-2 on the Cubs first baseman. Addy Joss brings the 1-2 pitch. Chance, grounder up the middle. Lajoie with the quick glove, the quick throw, but bad throw. This one gets past George Stovall, and Frank Chance will make it to second. So a rare throwing error, E4, on Napoleon Lajoie, and the Cubs have a runner in scoring position for left fielder Jimmy Sheckard. Sheckard sporting a .273 average in the tournament with a home run and 3 runs batted in. Joss with a check of the speedy Chance at first. Frank Chance in 1907 with 35 steals. Brings it now. Jimmy Sheckard bunts this fastball. Lajoie over to cover at first. That will retire Jimmy Sheckard, and the peerless leader moves to third. So the potential go-ahead run in scoring position for the Chicago Cubs, one away, Frank Schulte. And Dave Little, sorry to say that you're 1919 Reds, you're a Reds fan. The Reds eliminated in round 1, but a good team. So we went with the 1919 Reds for this one, as it was their only World Series in the dead ball era. So expect to see players from that team in the next edition of Ned McGreevy. All right, here is Wildfire Schulte. He's hitting a healthy .455, 2 runs batted in for Wildfire, so he's 5 for 11 overall in this tournament. Addy Joss works from the stretch, the 2-1 delivery. Fastball. Schulte swings, ground ball to first. George Stovall will take it for the putout, but coming in to score is Frank Chance, and the Chicago Cubs take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. 2 out, and catcher Johnny Kling will stride to the plate. Kling hitting .417 with 3 runs batted in. Hey, there's Dwayne Martz, so welcome in to Dwayne and everybody. Do subscribe to the Dwayne Martz YouTube network. Good stuff. Dwayne has been visiting this humble little channel as of late. So, Dwayne, it's a real privilege to have you in here, my friend. All right, Johnny Kling now ready to hit against Addy Joss. 1 run in for the Cubs, 2 away as Joss deals. Kling swings on this fastball, first pitch. Grounder to George Perring at short. And he'll fire on to George Stovall at first. Bad throw. This one gets away from Stovall. Stovall chasing it all the way to the seats. And Johnny Kling ends up at second. So that's the second Cleveland error. The first one led to a run scored. And we'll see if the Cubs can capitalize on this. Here's Jimmy Schlegel. Schlegel having an abysmal tournament. He is 0 for 7. Waiting on deck, Harry Steinfeld. Joss checks the runner, Kling. Johnny Kling, only 9 stolen bases in 1907 for the Cubs. The 1-2 pitch now. Fastball. Schlegel swings, chopped up the middle. George Perring, ranging to his left, makes the glove and the toss to George Stovall. Side retired. But the Chicago Cubs of 1907, 1 run, no hits, 2 errors. We've played 1 inning, and it's the Cubs 1 and the Naps nothing. Napoleon Lajoie will lead it off here, followed by Bill Hinchman and Nig Clark, or Jay Clark. So Lajoie hitting .269, 4 runs batted in. Lajoie in 1908 hit .289 with 74 runs batted in, including 2 home runs. Lajoie was a bit of an anomaly in the dead ball era. More of a player like Hannes Wagner or Sam Crawford, who wouldn't necessarily just punch the ball, but would swing and swing for power. Lajoie in the box now, and Carl Lundgren deals to Lajoie. The 0-2 curveball in there. Lajoie a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Lundgren picks up his first K of the afternoon. Right fielder Bill Hinchman now batting from the right. Hinchman having a great tournament, hitting 308. He has 3 runs batted in. Lundgren into his motion in the 0-1 fastball, and Lundgren comebacker to Lundgren at the mound, who fires on to the peerless leader for the 1-3 putout. So 2 quick outs here for the Cleveland Naps, and it brings up the catcher. So Jay Clark, we'll call him Jay Clark. His nickname was Nig. We went over why I do use nicknames, but I know it offends Clinton a bit, and I understand why, so we'll call him Jay, his real name. Clark hitting a 167 with 3 runs batted in the tournament, so a rather tepid tournament to say the least. Batting with the bases empty, 2 away, Lundgren with the 0-1 curveball. Clark swings, grounded to Evers, Evers to Chance, and the 4-3 putout retires the side. So nothing across. We go to the bottom of the second. Chicago leading Cleveland 1-0. And you are very welcome, Dwayne. Absolutely. And Nathaniel saying that Action PC is so much fun. Really missed these simulators. Learning a lot on Action PC. Legends Sports Universe. The man, the myth, and the legend. Joining us here at Westside Park in Chicago. Welcome in, Legends. Nathaniel, you really have to subscribe to his channel. As far as, I mean, he does all sports, most sports, but the one he does is, thank God, it's his favorite game, and it's the only game I follow. Is his franchise, his franchise sports All Stars League. It's fantastic, and he's doing that on MLB The Show. Do subscribe to that channel and to Dwayne Martz. Good community, and to Dave Little. All right, Harry Steinfeld will lead it off here for the West Siders. Steinfeld, Johnny Evers, and Joe Tinker. So the third baseman for the Bruins here, hitting .333 in the tournament, 2 runs batted in. Addy Joss with the 1-0 delivery, fastball, and Steinfeld, clean base hit up the middle. This one past Lajoie into center. Joe Birmingham has it. Gets it into shortstop George Paring. That is the first hit in this ball game. So Steinfeld aboard for Johnny Evers. Evers hitting at even .300. He has an RBI. Evers hit .250 in 1907 for the world champion Chicago Cubs. Joss with a check of Steinfeld at first. Steinfeld with 19 steals in 1907 for the Cubbies. Joss brings it. Here's the 0-1 to Evers. Evers brunts in his fastball. Jay Clark pounces on it and fires on to Nap Lajoie to retire Evers for out number 1. And Harry Steinfeld will move into scoring position on the sacrifice. Shortstop Joe Tinker. Tinker hitting just .143 and a run batted in. Tinker really in there for his defense, but Tinker in 1907, not his best year. 36 runs batted in, 1 round tripper. Addy Joss brings it home now. Tinker on the first pitch. There goes Steinfeld for third. Clark fires to third, and they catch Harry Steinfeld stealing. So great play by Jed Clark, who comes up gunning. Joss and Clark looking for the stolen base and nail Harry Steinfeld. So now bases empty, 2 away here in the bottom of the second, and 0-1 coming to Joe Tinker. Tinker swings. This one grounded to short. George Paring bobbles the ball, boots it away, keeps it in front of him, though, to keep Joe Tinker at first. That is error number 3 for the Naps. And it brings up pitcher Carl Lundgren now. Joe Tinker stole 20 bases in 1907 for the Cubbies, so good leadoff first for him. Carl Lundgren in this tournament hitting .250, so 1 for 4, not bad. Hit just 106, however, in 1907. Lundgren part of a great rotation. We will be seeing Three Finger Brown at some point in this series. Too bad the 1904 Giants didn't make it, so we're not going to see a Brown versus Mathewson matchup, unfortunately. Josh throws over. Tinker slides back under the tag, and he is safe. 0-2 to Lundgren. Lundgren swings, base hit left field. Joe Birmingham has it in left center. Gets it into George Paring. 2 aboard for the Chicago Cubs, and we're back at the top of the order now, and the peerless leader, player manager Frank Chance. Chance grounded to second, but was safe on a throwing error. Addy Joss from the set, and the 1-0. fastball. And Frank Chance, base hit to left field. Josh Clark up with it. Joe Tinker is rounding third, and there will not be a throw home. And the Chicago Cubs tally another one here in the second, and they lead the Naps now 2-0. Carl Lundgren's at second. Frank Chance at first for Jimmy Sheckard. Here is the pitch from Josh. The 2-1 to Sheckard. Sheckard swings. Base hit. Left field. Here comes the Chicago hit attack. Lundgren rounding third. Josh Clark has the ball. There will be no throw home, but rather to third baseman Bill Bradley to prevent Frank Chance from advancing. And the score is now the 1907 Cubs 3 and the Cleveland Naps of 1908 2. Wildfire Schulte is 0 for 1. Grounded to first, scoring Chance back in the first, so has a sacrifice RBI. Chance at second, Sheckard at first. Josh trying to get out of this inning. Here's the pitch, the 1-2. Schulte on the spitball. This one line to center. Birmingham has it and plays it on the short hop, and that's going to load the bases. And no, coming home to score after a delay is Frank Chance. 3 runs across now for the Chicago Cubs. It is 4-0. The Cubs aggressive and doing it early, and knowing that this 1908 Cleveland is not a squad to be trifled with. Here is Johnny Kling now. Johnny Kling, 0 for 1, grounded to short. He was safe on a throwing error. Josh deals to Kling, the 1-2 pitch. The changeup. Kling swings, base hit to right. Hinchman was playing shallow on that ball, but they're waving Jimmy Sheckard around, and he will score. Addie Joss just getting an uncharacteristic shelling. The Chicago Cubs of 1907 now have plated 4 here in the second. Total score, 5-0. Jimmy Schlegel grounded to short. So 2 outs, and Chicago just unrelenting. Schulte at second, Kling at first. Addie Joss with the 0-1 delivery. Changeup. Schlegel smacks this one down to first. Stovall quickly underhanded toss to Joss, covering and mercifully retires the side. 4 runs on 4 hits, and there was 1 error. I'm sorry, 4 runs on 5 hits. 6 hits. Sorry, 4 runs on 6 hits. And we've played 2. And it is 5-0. Cleveland will send up Joe Birmingham, George Perring, and adding Joss. Joe Birmingham is having probably, of every team that has been in this entire tournament, the worst time at the plate. He is 0 for 25. Birmingham, just a .213 hitter back in 1908. Carl Lundgren now enjoying a 5-run lead, and of course you can look at the line score. Lundgren deals to Birmingham. Birmingham swings in this first pitch. Fly ball center field. Jimmy Schlegel ranging back on it and makes the catch for out number 1. I just say look at the line score because I don't believe in jinxing. All right, George Perring now. Perring hitting a pretty good .280 clip with a run batted in this tournament. 7 for 25. Lundgren deals. 2-2 pitch. Change up to Perring. And this one paints the outside corner. And Carl Lundgren has whiffed his second. And here comes Addie Joss. Joss, 2 for 6 overall, hitting .333 with a double. Joss would like to at least get on board and see if he can give his comrades, his colleagues, a chance to get him around and get on the board. Lundgren deals the 0-2 pitch to Joss. Curveball. This one bounding ball to first. Frank Chance trots onto first to retire Joss and the side. Nothing across. Bottom of the third. 5-0 is your score in favor of the Chicago Cubs. Harry Steinfeld will lead it off. The number 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Steinfeld, Johnny Evers, and Joe Tinker. Steinfeld last time singled to center. Addie Joss into his motion. The 1-0. Steinfeld, hard chopper to short. George Perring gloves it and fires it on to George Stovall for out number 1. Crowd groaning at that, but that play was nowhere near being close. Here's the crab, Johnny Evers. Joss lets it go, the 1-2 pitch. Evers, this one lunged at that big hammer by Addie Joss and came up with nothing. So 2 up, 2 down for the shortstop. So Tinker last time grounded to short. He was safe on an error. 3 errors for Cleveland in this game thus far. Addie Joss with the 2-0 delivery. Curveball to Tinker. Tinker, first base hit up the middle, and that is the first. There we go. Got a base hit up the middle. And no, Tinker going to second. Again, after a delay. So that is hit number 7 for Tinker. And he is in scoring position. And Chicago, with 2 outs in the last inning, created a nice fat lead for themselves. Carl Lundgren, the pitcher, single to left center back in the second, helping his own cause, has one of the 7 Chicago hits. Addie Joss brings it now. Lundgren swinging on the first pitch, grounded to Bill Bradley at third. He has plenty of time to throw into George Stovall, and that will retire the Chicago Cubs here in the third. So the Cubs finally being held to nothing, and we go to the fourth. Again, this game moving very, very quickly. Josh Clark, back at the top of the order for the Cleveland Naps, followed by George Bradley and George Stovall, or Bill Bradley and George Stovall, I'm sorry. Josh Clark grounded to first. Lundgren deals the 1-0 delivery. Josh Clark on the spitball. 2 hopper to third. Harry Steinfeld throws across to Chance. Chance with the stretch, and they do just get Josh Clark for out number 1. So great play with Steinfeld and with Chance and the long reach. And here comes Bill Bradley now. He's grounded to second. Lundgren with the 2-0 delivery. Fastball. Bradley swings. Oh, great play. Diving stop by Joe Tinker and able to get the throw off to Frank Chance for out number 2. Joe Tinker flashing the leather here for the West Siders. And it brings up George Stovall. He grounded to short. Lundgren with the 1-0. Stovall swings in this curveball. Base hit to right center. Jimmy Slagle and Frank Schulte converging. Slagle gets to the ball first, and that breaks up the no-hitter. So Lundgren gives up his first base knock here in the top of the fourth. George Stovall with 14 steals in 1908 for Cleveland. Good lead with 2 outs. Napoleon Lajoie 0 for 1 struck out back in the second. Lundgren winds and deals the 1-2. Curveball. Hard hit base, or hard hit ball to center. Slagle has it. Lajoie in there with a double, and Cleveland gets their first run as George Stovall scores all the way from first base on the Lajoie RBI double. 5-1 now, as Bill Hinchman grounded to the pitcher last time. Lajoie into his lead at second. Lajoie with 15 steals in 1908 for the Naps. Lundgren twirls it to 2-1. Hinchman swings. Base hits center field. Here comes Cleveland. Lajoie rounding third. Jimmy Slagle up with the ball in center. And Lajoie will score. So Cleveland chipping away at the Chicago lead here in the fourth. It's now 5-2. Jay Clark steps in. Grounded to second. 2 away. Runner aboard at first. Bill Hinchman. Lundgren with a check of the runner. Hinchman just 9 steals in 1908. And they call a balk on Carl Lundgren, and Lundgren is incensed. He starts to walk into home plate, actually at a very brisk pace, and quickly Johnny Kling out there to restrain him, telling him, get back on there. Mr. Clem will not tolerate it. Clem giving him a little bit of a break because of the importance of this game. Lundgren back on the box, throws down the rosin in disgust. And Jay Clark back in the box now. Little wave of the bat. Bill Hinchman in scoring position at second. 2 down, 2 in for Cleveland. Lundgren deals to Clark. Here's the 2-1. Fastball. This one bounding ball to third. Steinfeld plenty of time with a throw across the diamond to Frank Chance, and that will retire the Cleveland Naps. But they break up the no-hitter and 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Chicago's lead has been trimmed to 5-2. So good stuff. Nathaniel letting everybody know what's going on and just getting involved with the community, and good stuff. So so happy to have everybody here. All right, let's keep this pace going here. Frank Chance now leads it off here. Chance is 1 for 2. Saving a throwing error back in the first, and then RBI single scoring Joe Tinker in the second. Frank Chance will be followed by Jimmy Sheckard and Frank Schulte. Joss deals Chance, first pitch swinging on this fastball, base hit, left field. Josh Clark up with it to George Perring. So Frank Chance aboard and definitely a threat to steal. Brings up Jimmy Sheckard. There's been one caught stealing in this game, and that was Harry Steinfeld. Sheckard, last time up, RBI in the second, scoring Carl Lundgren. Of course, that was that big 4-run second for the Chicago Cubs. Josh checks Chance at first, looks in, has the sign from catcher Jay Clark. Here's the pitch. Change up. Sheckard turns on this one. Grounded deep to second. Lajoie cannot handle the ball. And that's an E4 Napoleon Lajoie and the 4th Cleveland error of this game. So 2 on, nobody out for the 1907 Cubs. Chance at second, Sheckard at first, and it brings up Wildfire Schulte. He is 1 for 2. RBI single back in the second. Josh brings it. The 0-2 pitch to Schulte. Fastball. Schulte swings. Little bouncer up to first. Stovall will go to Perring, covering at second, but they will not turn to. The throw not in time. So runners at the corners. Schulte on, thanks to the fielder's choice, and Frank Chance makes it to third. So runners at the corners here for the Chicago Cubs, and it brings up catcher Johnny Kling. RBI single for him back in the second. Part of that big attack by the Cubbies in the second inning. Joss now working out of the stretch. Full count on Kling. Here's a changeup. And Kling, hard hit to third. Bradley will go to Lajoie on the pivot to George Stovall for the pitcher's best friend. The inning-ending double play. The Chicago Cubs threaten but do not score. And we go to the top of the 5th, and the score remains Chicago 5, Cleveland 2. And Cleveland wanting Joe Birmingham so badly to break out of this horrific slump. He is 0 for 26 in the entire tournament. He's 0 for 1 today for the center fielder. Birmingham last time fly to center. Lundgren deals the 0-2 pitch. Fastball, this one slapped into foul territory on the first base side. Chance gets the ball and tosses it back to Carl Lundgren. Birmingham back in the box, the 0-2 delivery from Lundgren. Birmingham, this one in the inside corner, and Carl Lundgren picks up his 3rd K. One away here for shortstop George Perring, struck out back in the 3rd. Lundgren, the 2-0 pitch. Perring swings, hard ground ball to Harry Steinfeld, and Steinfeld with plenty of time fires on to Frank Chance, 2 out. So Cleveland making good contact on balls hit in the infield, but contact is too good, giving this brilliant Chicago infield time to get a lot of putouts. So Lundgren doing an excellent job right now, outpacing the great Addy Joss, who now walks to the plate. Joss is 0 for 1, grounded to first last time up. 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Kling sets the target. Lundgren winds and fires the 1-0. Spitball, and this one again, hard hit to second. Evers to Chance, and that will retire Cleveland. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Chicago 5, Cleveland 2. Steve Tate is in here. He's working on his baseball all-time greats tonight. And Steve, hopefully, maybe sometime this week, we'll get a chance to do some head-to-head. Definitely hope so. I know you couldn't do it on Sunday. Completely understand. So hopefully, let's do this, man. All right. So Jimmy Slagle now will lead it off for the Chicago Cubs. The 5, 6, 7 hitters are due up. Jimmy Slagle, Harry Steinfeld, and Johnny the Crab Evers. Slagle has grounded out twice in this game. Addy Joss with the 0-1. Slagle sends his fastball to George Perring. This should be a routine 6-3 putout, and indeed it is, as Stovall makes the reception. 1 up, 1 down for Steinfeld. Was caught stealing in this game. Single to center and grounded to short in the game. The human hairpin, Addy Joss, a rather unfortunate nickname. Joss deals the 2-1. Steinfeld swings, and this one, a soft little chopper to short. Perring's got to hurry his throw. Steinfeld tearing down the line. They get him by a gnat's eyelash. 2 down. Addy Joss called the human hairpin not only because of his delivery, but because of just his posture. His teammates did not know that he suffered from a rather aggressive meningitis that would claim his life. The great Addy Joss. But called the human hairpin and just pitched through unceasing pain and put up incredible numbers. Probably not well remembered by baseball fans these days outside of our little family. Johnny Evers now struck out back in the third. 2 down here. Cleveland looking to keep these Chicago bats quiet, looking for the third consecutive scoreless inning. Can they do it? Josh with the 3-0 spitball, and this one a little slapper to short, pairing up with a close play, bang bang, and not in time. Johnny Evers is safe. Infield single. So Chicago Cubs not going gently here in the bottom of the fifth with 2 away. And here's Joe Tinker, doubled back in the third. Johnny Evers, definitely a threat to steal. 46 steals in 1907 for the Cubs. Josh throws over. Evers dives back under the George Stovall tag. He is safe. Tinker back in the box now. Josh from the high set in the 0-2, and Tinker, this one foul on the left-hand side. Josh ready to work again. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball, and this one fly to shallow center. Josh Clark in on the infield, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 5 in the books here at Westside Ground in Chicago, Illinois. And it's the Cubs 5 and the Cleveland Naps 2. Looking at Carl Lundgren's pitching line here as we head into the 6th inning. Lundgren with 5 innings of work, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He has struck out 3. Josh Clark 0 for 2. Back at the top of the order now for the Cleveland Naps. He's grounded to first and third. Kling flashing the signs for Lundgren. Lundgren lets it go. The 1-2 pitch. And Josh Clark, little chopper to third. Harry Steinfeld, great diving stop on to Frank Chance for a great 5-3 putouts. We've seen Joe Tinker and Harry Steinfeld make some great plays in the infield, in contrast to the 1908 Cleveland Naps, who are groaning under the weight of 4 errors in this game. All right, third baseman Bill Bradley now will have a go. He's grounded out twice against Carl Lundgren. The Chicago boxman twirls it home. The 1-2 pitch. Base hit. This will be for extra bases. Bradley tearing around the base paths, and he will get in there with a 1-out triple. So a chance for Cleveland to cut more into the Chicago lead, down 5-2. And the Naps send up George Stovall, their first baseman. Stovall in the contest last time singled to right center. Lundgren working out of the stretch now. And Stovall swings in the first pitch. Johnny Evers will go to Frank Chance for the out, but coming in to score is Bill Bradley. And Cleveland picks up run number 3. It's now the Cubs 5 and the Naps 3. Base is empty for Napoleon Lajoie. Lajoie 1 for 2. RBI double back in the 4th, giving Cleveland its first run. That RBI scoring George Stovall. Bases deserted. Lundgren brings it, the 0-1. This one chopping ground ball to Joe Tinker. Tinker to Chance, and that will retire Napoleon Lajoie. But another Cleveland run, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's the Cubs 5 and the Naps 3. Looking at Addy Joss's pitching line now. He's worked 5 innings, 9 hits, only 1 strikeout for Addy Joss. Pitcher Carl Lundgren now grabs a stick of ash and heads into the box. Grounded to third. He is 1 for 2. Grounded to third his last time up. Addy Joss into that peculiar windup brings the 1-2 pitch to Lundgren. Curveball, and this one a sharp comebacker to Addy Joss on the mound. Joss, unable to hold on to the ball, bobbles it. By the time he recovers, Carl Lundgren is on at first. Error number 5 for the Cleveland Naps. And we go back to the top of the order, and the peerless leader, player manager Frank Chance, who's been busy today, 2 for 3. Chance has an RBI back in the 2nd. Carl Lundgren, not fleet of foot, no stolen bases in 1907 for the Cubs. We look around the park. We see a few National League magnates and powers, and a couple sports writers here. And of course, Dryden and Sy chronicling this game for the Chicago Tribune. Nobody out, a runner on, and here's the delivery to Frank Chance, the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, this one lofted to left. Josh Clark back on it. That was kind of deep, but allowed out for the peerless leader. Carl Lundgren scampers back to the first sack, and here comes left fielder Jimmy Sheckard. Sheckard 1 for 2. Sheckard has himself an RBI in this game. Josh checks the runner. The pitch to Sheckard. Fastball. This one slapped up the first base line. Stovall up with it. He'll go to Perring at short, but there will be no return throw as Perring is upended to break up the double play. So, fielder's choice for Jimmy Sheckard, and here comes Wildfire Schulte. Schulte 1 for 3 with an RBI in this game. Josh checks the runner. The 1-0 delivery to Schulte. Curveball. This one smacked to short. George Perring will go to George Stovall in the 6-3 putout to retire the Cubs. So Josh has kept the Chicago Cubs scoreless after those kind of rough first 2 innings. So innings 3, 4, 5, 6, the Chicago Cubs coming up with nothing. Cleveland scattering their runs, 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th. We go to the 7th now, and Bill Hinchman is 1 for 2. RBI scoring Lajoie back in the 4th. Lundgren brings it now, the 2-0 pitch. Fastball. Hinchman swings, hard hit ground ball to second. Johnny Evers, quick release onto Frank Chance to retire Hinchman for out number 1. Jay Clark, the catcher, 0 for 2. He is grounded out twice. As Steve Tate says, he is glad that Nathaniel's in the community. And Dave Little saying he's back. I wanted to say hi to Jester. Jester, a good guy. I haven't seen him in a while. Lundgren deals now to Jay Clark. Here is the 2-2. Curveball, and Clark sends this to Evers at second, ranging to his right, who, nice toss on to Frank Chance for the 4-3 putout. So we got to at least say Evers to Chance. So 2 down for Joe Birmingham, whose woes continue. He is 0 for 2. Lundgren with the 0-2 pitch to Birmingham. Curveball, looks like. And Birmingham picks up his first base hit. George Birmingham, how about it? Or Joe Birmingham picks up his first base hit in this entire tournament. So Cleveland hoping for something to happen. Maybe that wakes up this club a little bit. He was shut down by the Pirates, and he was also shut down. I forget who they played in the first round. George Perring now. He is struck out and grounded to third. 2 away, 5-3 your score. Lundgren throws over. Birmingham back. Joe Birmingham stole 15 bases in 1908 for Cleveland. Kling with the target. Lundgren, another check of Birmingham at first. And here's the pitch. Pitch out, nothing doing. Lundgren peers over his right shoulder again, comes to the set position, and deals the 1-0. George Perring swings on this one, a fastball. Tinker to Evers to end the inning. Middle of the 7th, Chicago 5, Cleveland 3. All right, 7th inning stretch time is over, and we head to the bottom of the 7th here at West Side Park in Chicago. This was the home of the Chicago Cubs until they took over Wigman Field, which was actually built for the Federal League Chicago Whales. Wrigley, of course, became Wrigley Field when Wrigley took over ownership of the club. And it is the only surviving Federal League park in the United States and is a National Historic Landmark, as is Fenway Park. So, Here we go. Johnny Kling now will lead it off for the Chicago Cubs. The heart of the order is numbers 4, 5, and 6 due up. Kling, Schlegel, and Steinfeld. Johnny Kling is 1 for 3. Last time up, he grounded into a double play. Addy Joss with a 3-0 delivery now. Curveball coming to Kling, and that's a 4-pitch walk issued by Joss, his first. So Johnny Kling aboard, 9 steals for the Chicago catcher, and here is Jimmy Schlegel. Jimmy Schlegel, nothing for 3 in the contest. He is grounded out to short twice and to first. So Joss looking to turn 2 here. The 0-1 to Schlegel, fastball. This one chopped to Bradley. Bradley will go to Lajoie. Lajoie on to George Stovall for the 5-4-3 double play. So Joss gets it on 1 pitch, and Steinfeld now in there. Harry Steinfeld has singled, grounded out twice, and was caught stealing. Joss winds and fires the 0-2. Steinfeld misses the curveball, and Joss retires the side and gets his second strikeout. We go to the 8th. The 1907 Cubs 5 and the 1908 Cleveland Naps 3. So, as Steve Tate says, highly recommend reading the Action PC manual. And I highly recommend also looking at Steve Tate's videos. And again, Nathaniel, I'll show you a few things at least to get you started with player photos, things like that. Where to get them, how to install them, and show you a few things, where to find ballparks. One place that you do want to go besides the Action PC forums is also, it's called APC Community, and there's all kinds of superb resources on there for all the Action PC games. The only one I care about is baseball, but so good one. There you'll find Steve Tate's 5-year franchise files in the Action PC forums as well. And on the APC community, you'll find not only older versions of Steve Tate's files, but also Zepp's 3-year run files, which are excellent, by the way, and a lot of other stuff. We'll get you hooked up, man. The links to those places are not on the Discord. We certainly can put them in there, though. And we can also do them right here, too. So, all right, Addy Joss leads it off here in the 8th. Cleveland down 2. Carl Lundgren deals to Joss, who is 0 for 2. Fastball, and Joss sends this one to second base. Evers ranging to his right and plants and throws on to Frank Chance for the 4-3 putout. 1 away here as Josh Clark, and I do want to start showing these guys their photos every once in a while. There's Josh Clark. Nothing for 3 in the contest. He's grounded out all 3 times. Lundgren, the 2-1 pitch. Fastball, base hit. Left center field, Jimmy Schlegel and Schecker converging. Schlegel up with it, gets it into Joe Tinker. So Josh Clark aboard, and Josh Clark has some wheels. 37 steals in 1908. All right, here is third baseman Bill Bradley. His last time up, a triple. Lundgren throws over, and Josh Clark back ahead of Frank Chance's sweep tag. Lundgren brings it home now. The 0-2 pitch, spitball, and this one chopped up the line. Chance will go to Tinker. Tinker back to Chance for the 3-6-3 inning-ending double play. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning now, and Johnny Evers will step in for the Chicago Cubs with a 5-3 lead here. Overflow crowd, as you'd expect here at Westside Park. Spectators behind a rope out there in the outfield. A game that has not been marked by any rowdyism, so Dryden and Cy will definitely be reporting that in the evening edition of the Trib. Johnny Evers 1 for 2. Infield single back in the 5th, his last time up. Addy Joss winds and fires. Fastball on the 1-0 count. Lajoie showing great range out there at second. Makes a play that would have been close for anybody else, but plenty of time for Lajoie to retire the speedy Johnny Evers. Here comes Joe Tinker now. Tinker had a double back in the 3rd. Otherwise, he is He's grounded out and flied out. Eddie Joss comes with it now, the 1-0. Curveball to Tinker. Hard hit ground ball. Plenty of time for George Paring to fire on to Stovall to get the Speedy Joe Tinker. 2 up, 2 down for the box man, Carl Lundgren. Low, he is 1 for 3. The 1-1 from Joss. Curveball. Lundgren, liner to center, and a great catch and a tumbling play there in center field by Joe Birmingham to retire the side. We go to the 9th. 3 chances for Cleveland now to tie it up. And the heart of their order comes up in George Stovall, Napoleon Lajoie, and Bill Hinchman. Stovall in the game. He's grounded to short, single to right center, and grounded to second, scoring George Bradley. Lundgren deals the 2-2 pitch. And curveball in there for strike 3. So Stovall that was a little knee buckler there. And Lundgren picks up strikeout number 4. Napoleon Lajoie now. Last time grounded to short. Has an RBI in this game. 1-1 pitch to the great Lajoie. Changeup. Bounding ball. Great play by Johnny Evers. And that's the 3rd great play by the Chicago infield. 2 down. Evers making the toss from his knees. Almost pushing the ball to Frank Chance. 2 away, and it's down to Bill Hinchman to keep the Cleveland Naps hopes alive for a Game 1 victory. Again, best of 7. Hinchman grounded to second back in the 7th. In the 4th, did score Napoleon Lajoie, RBI. Lundgren with a 2-1 delivery to Hinchman. Fastball, this one fouled down the left field line, and Jimmy Sheckard giving chase. This one will get into the seats. The usher grabs the ball and throws it back to pitcher Carl Lundgren. The count even now at 2-2 on Bill Hinchman. Here is the pitch. Hinchman swings, grounder to Tinker, who has all day to make this throw to Frank Chance. And Game 1 is over, and the Chicago Cubs take this one from the Cleveland Naps 5-3. Let's look at our game recap. Chicago, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Big story for the Naps. 3 runs, 6 hits, 5 errors. In the tournament, Carl Lundgren getting the win. He goes to 2 wins, no losses. Eddie Joss tagged with the loss. He goes to 1 win and 2 losses. Extra base hits in this game. There was only, there were 2 actually for Cleveland. A double by Napoleon Lajoie and a triple by Bill Bradley. 1 extra base hit for the victorious Chicago Cubs. A double by Joe Tinker. Looking at pitching here, Eddie Joss, 8 innings, 9 runs, 5 hits, or 9 hits, 5 runs, none of them earned. So the errors absolutely hurting Eddie Joss. Walked 1, struck out 2. Carl Lundgren went 9 complete, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, and struck out 4. Look at our quick miscellaneous. Not a lot happening. Pretty much a routine baseball game, really. Just a caught stealing, and that was Harry Steinfeld. So neither team really bringing an aggressive running game today. The game-winning RBI is Wildfire Schulte, and the MVP for Game 1 of this best of 7 is Carl Lundgren, and that does it. Look at our playoff bracket here. And there we go. Chicago 1-0 over Cleveland. Hopefully when we can get Ken Castro. You're welcome, Dave Little. Nathaniel says, awesome game. Dwayne says, great job. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I can do them right here. We'll do that. So once we can figure out how to get Clinton and cousin Ken Castro in here, we will start the other 2 teams in round 3. And that's the 1894 Baltimore Orioles and the 1884 Providence Grays. 2 teams not expected to make it this far in the tournament, and they are both ready to face off. A 19th century clash between a modern baseball team, the 1894 Baltimore Orioles, and what would be considered old-time baseball, the 1884 Grays. And World's Gamer says, hello guys, as usual with notifications. YouTube, they don't work. Anyway, Josh really pitched well, and his team let him down. 5 errors and all runs unearned. Absolutely. All right, so Nathaniel, this is going to be, I see a BRB, but I think you're back. Hopefully you're back. Just let me know if you are. We're going to do a real quick couple things for you on Action PC Baseball. This is not meant to supplant the manual nor the superb instruction by the erstwhile Steve Tate. And I don't know how many times in his life he's been called erstwhile, but at least one tonight. So I'll wait for... okay, Nathaniel is here. All right, so Nathaniel, I know you. I was going to say if you had Out of the Park Baseball, the good news is that the photos for Out of the Park Baseball also work for Action PC Baseball. So that's the first time you've been called erstwhile. It will not be the last. All right. So where to get photos? All right, what I'm going to do here is bring up just step one. Just Google Action PC forums, Action PC Baseball forums, and bring this over to you. So just simple Google search will bring you right here. Boink. And the very, very first post. So this guy here, Cheech411, new player photos. There's over 40,000, which I need to, I guess, update mine. Over 40,000 player photos. Just go in here. Right? So one of the important things, Nathaniel, that you do need to understand about Action PC Baseball, the only thing in Action PC Baseball that you never, ever, ever, ever unzip are the seasons. Don't unzip seasons. So if you've been playing it, you kind of know that already. Whether they're homebrews or there's something, you know, that you've bought from Dave Cook Sports, the program has its own sort of unzip file. That way you always have the season. So what you're going to do, basically, you're going to just download the file. Okay, not a problem. Bam. So when you download, I'm going to minimize this because we're going to be going back. Now you're going to go into Windows Explorer, and of course, depending upon where you have, and let me bring this over here onto the screen. Make sure we're caught up. A little 6-second lag is always fun. All right, so I'm just going to assume you have it in your C drive, okay? You want to put everything that you get for, that you buy, that you download, it's going to go into your DK Sports data. So you go into that directory, Nathaniel, and then you go into the subdirectory baseball. So again, you don't want to go to the game directory. So what's nice about Action PC is when you buy it, it will create this directory, you install it. So when you buy like editions every year, it will recognize this directory. So it's not like, you know, an Out of the Park Baseball where you have to, you know, it's going to have its own directory like the game will. But this data directory will as long as you're always installing to the same drive, it will refer back to this. So you're not going to have to reinstall photos, anything like that. Real nice. And then here, ballparks, literally, ballpark photos, go with ballparks. There they are. I don't have as many as Steve. I only have 827. Steve's got me beat by a long shot. He has more ballparks than God. But here's the one you're looking for, player photos. And here they are. So this is like the big general photo, right? But then you're going to see all these subdirectories, and as you know, Steve talked about this in his instructional broadcast the other night. These are subfolders, so you can set leagues, seasons, what have you, to look in a specific folder for player photos. If you don't specify in that game, it's just going to go to this general file folder right here. They just go right here, and then you're loaded for bear pretty much. There was a game called Strategy Baseball, and I'm looking at if I can find the pictures. I'm going to post them somewhere so you guys can get to them. And these are players that are player photos broken down by decade, which is really nice. It's just I can't find it in Strategy Baseball right now. Is not on the Wayback Machine, unfortunately, to get that photo pack. But there's plenty of variety in here as well. And I can see that mine is not updated because I'm at 35,000 player photos. Okay, so once you have those installed, I can just pick anybody here and let's double click. There's Jimmy Ring. But let's say you have, do you want to change that photo? Maybe you don't like that photo of Jimmy Ring. I don't think I have another one, but what you do here is you're going to not modify team. This one gets weird. Yeah. I do the same thing Steve does. I click that instead. Okay. Right? So you're going to go to roster tools once you're in the roster screen. Okay. Or is it that one? Or is it... Oh, I always mess these up. No, I'm sorry. It is not that. Or is it? Yeah, player photos. So under roster tools, go to players, photos, nicknames, uniforms. It's going to load the player photos in here. And it will take a minute. It's a lot of photos. And then you can click on anybody down here. So we're talking about Jimmy Ring. So there's Jimmy Ring. Now, unfortunately, there's no other photos for Jimmy Ring. But let's just pretend that Jimmy Sebring is Jimmy Ring. We'll just do that. So you can just click here, changes the photo, and then you do this use photo for Jimmy Ring. So that's how you do photos. Really simple. I usually leave this unchecked because I usually do first underbar last, which is what is used in Action PC Baseball for most photo packs. That's the same naming convention in Out of the Park Baseball. So you don't have to have this checked. I don't, and I've never had any trouble. You can get multiple versions of players here. We see here, like for Hinch, we have for AJ Hinch, we got 1, 2, 3. We have 4 here for Hinch. So maybe he would be. This is all available photos, so obviously he's not going to be here. So, but these are suggested photos because it's looking at Jimmy Ring. It's also picking up Jimmy Sebring, what have you. Okay, so that's how you do player photos. Really simple. Download ballparks. Again, you unzip them into the ballparks directory, and then how you work at ballparks. And this is just, again, quick and dirty. Steve Tate goes into much better detail on how to do these. You're going to want to get ballparks. So what we're going to do here is I'll show you something else really cool. This time we're going to go to the APC community. And that is just, you just type in APC. It's going to be apcsportscommunity.com. If you type in just APC, and then Action PC Baseball, just do that Google. I can also get these in the Discord for you, Nathaniel. So look at all the cool stuff here. So just mouse over in this little CSS. This menu will pop out. Okay. And then what you want to do is you've got seasons, images, and sounds. So let's go to images first. Because look at this. Let's say, for instance, I'm not a season replayer, but let's say you want to do 1963 player photos. You would download these, install them, and then in that 1963, and I can show you that, or you can look at one of Steve's instructional videos if you want. When you select in the rules folder, I believe it is, or the rules tab, it is rules or info, it's one of the two. We'll go back and look. And you want it to look in a specific subfolder, the game will automatically create that subfolder, and all you have to do is you would just take these photos that you have, say for 1962, 63, whatever, and put them right into that subdirectory, and then you don't have to worry about all the other 40,000. Oh, you're welcome. So, yeah, Worldsworth Gamer says if you don't stream, you don't have to care about this stuff and just play the games. Yeah, you don't have to. Even before I was streaming, though, I always liked if there's player photos, I like it. And of course, I think ballparks you should have, because there are park factors in this game. And yeah, the pictures are window dressing, but I think they add to the immersion. But no, you certainly don't. So, but down here, there's a great one. Where is it? Two things you should get. This one right here, Zeke's logo collection. You download as a zip file, unzip it into logos, and there's just an absolute crap ton of logos here. Here's also another good one too. MLB team logos 1890 to 2023. You want to get these. The hat and uniform combinations. I don't use them, but a lot of people do. Steve does. Really dresses up the game. Okay. Um, so lots of logos you can get here, but there's something specifically. There it is. Here it is. Lance Powers ballpark images. Definite download. And by the way, on this site, just click on the little blue boop, and you'll get it, right? Lots of images here from Lance Powers. Another thing, because you're using JPEG files in Action PC Baseball, do some searches on the internet for ballpark images. You will find tons. But I definitely recommend this one. This is actually absolutely superb. A lot of people use, and in fact, had a nice compliment. Mike Silva, who does that great Stadium mod, who left a comment in one of the streams I did, and apparently it was a ballpark that I usually don't use them from out of the park in Action PC Baseball. But he's picking up Action PC Baseball, and he said, great stream. And he said, it was so cool to see my parks being used in another game outside of out of the park. Definitely get this as well, okay? Definitely get the Lance Powers ballpark pack. That's going to give you a ton of ballparks to start with, okay? Now, let's go back again to baseball and look at these seasons, man, okay? So I was talking about Zepp, and we will be talking about Steve in a minute, because Steve, you know. So this is really nice, and I have these installed. I can show you. I've installed most of these. So what this is basically, it's similar to Steve Tate's 5-year franchise files. This breaks it down again into decades. Steve does it. It's a different approach and very elegant, I think. But these are good too. 1901 to 1919, 20 to 42. And so on. I would definitely get these. 1926 Negro League, I would say get it because that's not available yet as a purchasable product from Dave Cook. The other Negro Leagues are. Oh my God, this thing is just great. Pacific Coast League, I don't know if you're into. I'm not into simming the minor league baseball, but these 3-year franchises do go up to 2019. So from 1901 to 2019, that's a hell of a lot of baseball right there. You've got Japanese baseball here if you want. There's a Senior Professional Baseball Association, which I think World's Worst Gamer was messing with. Lots of good seasons, and this is just there's a wealth. There we go. Steve Tate's. He hasn't updated these in the APC community, but you can see his 5-year franchise files. Older versions are here. The newest versions, which I checked, I have to download the newest versions. I just have to wade through that huge thread. But updated as of January 2023 are the latest ones. So you probably want to get those from the Action PC forums. What else can I show you here, Nathaniel? I'm guessing you've messed with the picture. Oh yeah, I want to talk more about ballparks. So ballparks, I think, they are sometimes really hard in the eyes, but you can do what Steve Tate does. And what I should do, and I mean I'm the one that's the graphic artist, but you can use different programs to upscale images. There's all kinds of them out there. Some free. I have GIMP, so that's basically the free it's a freeware version and just as powerful as Adobe Photoshop. And when you upscale them, they're beautiful. So yeah, I mean you can just upscale them. They're really nice. But how to do ballparks? This is the thing that I think trips up a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people. So you see if I mouse over this. This is assigned to Redland Field, and this is a Gary Grigsby painting, a creation of Redland Field. So this is where the Reds, this used to be called, but this, of course, is also would become Crosley Field, what have you. And you'll see the ballpark image. But the question is how you deal with ballparks. It's a multi-step process, and I think once you're used to ballparks, you're not going to have a problem. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Modify Team. All right, now you can see here a couple things. First, what's really cool is you can see it's already assigned to 1919, this team. But you can actually, if you wanted to, you want to do a what if, and there is a what if tool, you can set this to any year and it will normalize to that year for those park factors. And if I would like click on 1920 or whatever, right, things would switch up for this. But I'll show you that in park data. Then you're going to select the name of the park here. Now what's important, Nathaniel, super important, you see here it says assign team to park. It's okay to click that, right, or assign team to year and assign team to park. Pretend these two buttons here, assign players to year and set above park as players real life park. Pretend these buttons don't exist. Just don't ever use them. And especially if you're going to be doing what if leagues, that the way Steve and I do them in MV, it's just these buttons don't exist. And you even get a little asterisk that will remind you and a little important warning here. Okay. Now, and then of course here you can assign logos. I'll just do one. Okay. Little trick, right, is if you just type the first letter of a name, it will jump down to there, right? So I'm going to go to Cincinnati, and you can hold the Shift key and keep typing, but this is good enough. So let's find one that's going to be for Cincinnati. I'm not too worried about being terribly accurate with this, but if I wanted to, I could look here, and there we go. There is the 1919 Cincinnati Reds logo. Click Assign Logo, and click OK, and there it is. Now, how do you get the park image? Because if you don't have Redland Field, even if you assigned Redland Field, you're going to have, usually the default I think is Camden Yards. So how do you set this? And this is the part that does kind of get most people. So I'm going to go a little more slowly on this. Okay. Yeah, so to assign ballparks, right? You just click on any club. So we were doing the 1919 Reds, who are out of it. So, yep. So again, you're going to go to Modify Team, and this is once you're in the roster screen of the team, this is where you're going to set the year and their home ballpark. And then once you have that year, remember, do Assign Team to Year, select the park, and Assign Team to Park. The buttons under those, again, pretend they just don't exist. Down here, select the logo, assign logo, and when you're done, click OK. That's all you got to do. Okay. Now you can go through each. You can't go through the teams this way, unfortunately. I wish you could. But a way to quickly edit other teams is go down here, and let's say I want to do the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm just going to give their logo. But talk about, World's Worst Gamer saying some of the parks can be hard on the eyes. Well, when you see this picture of Forbes Field, you'll know it's just a case of going out there doing some searching, and Steve Tate, kind enough to doing some screen grabs of a few parks in MLB The Show, and Forbes happens to be in there. So once again, so I know I'm working with the 1909 Pirates, so it's 1909, assign team to year. Forbes Field, assigns team to park. I want to put a logo in here. Click in here, type P, and again, you can hold the Shift key or the Control key and start typing Pitt if you want to. 1909, there it is, Pittsburgh Baseball Club, assigned logo. Click OK, and now your logo and ballpark are assigned. But we're still not done with ballparks. So we'll click OK. All right, now, ballparks, there are two menu options up here, Nathaniel, and anybody else watching this later. Park data and park layouts. The first thing that you've got to do is go to park data. And park data is a little bit weird, but it's okay. So right now you can see that for what team is, oh, this is set as a neutral park. So if we go down to, and again, the same trick works in here too. If you just type in, let's say I just type in C, there's Camden, there's Candlestick, and so on. Okay, but this, I'm looking for Redlands Field, so let's go to Redland. All right, and then just go down here, and once you find it, there's Redland Field. Now there's that image. Now you do not have to use the same image, okay? But even before that, see right now this is set at 1933, so let's start up here. First thing, when you select in the yellow box, it's the park you want to work with, okay? Hey, Aaron Reed, he's in Jeffersonville, Indiana for some reason. Welcome in, Aaron. This is where you have ballpark factors, okay? So maybe if you see right now for 1933, if I click on 1934, numbers are going to change, and actually this park didn't exist after this year. So if we go back, right, let's say 1928, right, so left-handed hitters, for instance, are going to take a -5 hit on hits for lefties versus righties. If I go to 1929, now all of a sudden righties are doing a little better in the park, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to leave this back in although these guys are out of it, 1933. Now, the next thing here is you can change the name of fields. This is pretty obvious. And they were there until 1933. It's capacity. If you want to, you could actually edit fences if you wanted. So let's say you had some clubs and you just wanted to do entirely, you don't want to do real parks or whatever. You can actually, this is a way to actually quote unquote create parks from ballpark images. Also a kind of, did it have a grass surface? This thing is so editable. It's grass, the foul territory is average. And these factors all play in the game, despite what the image is here. This is really, everything that happens with the ballparks is in this screen and park data. Okay? All right, and then average temperature, blah, blah, blah. All right, now, let's say I wanted to find a night photo of this one. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to type R for Redland Field, and I'm going to see if I have anything else for Redland Field. I doubt it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. So, but just for illustration, let's say I wanted to, let's say we'll just select Riverfront. Ugh, God forgive me. All right, and I wanted to make this the night photo. I would just do that, and now it becomes a night photo. So if there's a day game, it's in Crosley Field, but at night I have this image of Riverfront. Now, the image that you select over here, right, even though Riverfront Stadium is going to have different park factors than Redland Field, the photo itself doesn't affect park factors, but the photo is important in park layouts, and we'll talk about that. And then let's say I pick another one, let's say Robinson Field, and again, none of those related to the Reds, and I can do that as an alternate photo. So you can go into a game, and let's say it's a night game, but you want to use an alternate photo. When you start a game, whether an exhibition or season game, you can choose actually which image you want to use. Okay? So again, this is the park that you want to work with, and this is where you're setting all the park factors, statistical normalization, fence dimensions, everything. And then the image is what you're looking at. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. But let's say you've set this up. You've got Redland set up. And yes, I'm going to exit without saving. Then the other thing is park layouts. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about Redland Field because that one's done. So a lot of times, Nathaniel, when you're downloading ballparks, and by the way, another weird thing about Action PC Baseball is it's usually a Windows convention to have like those 3 little diagonal lines in the lower right corner to show that you can resize a window. This doesn't, and I didn't know until last year from Steve Tate that this could be resized. Alright, so you have all these fun labels, and if you were to start a game right now using this American League Park from DC in 1902, right, your pitcher's going to be at home plate, the catcher's way back here, foul balls, it's just going to be absolute nuts, right? Same thing here. But yet if I go to Anaheim, Anaheim is set up, it's ready to play. And I'm working through these slowly. These aren't obviously ready to play. Okay. So how do we do this? Pretty simple. Probably not the best ballpark image to show, but first trick. So you see up here, you have grandstands, right field, grandstands, catcher, grandstand, first base. But there's also things underneath these if you drag them around. Fast way to do this, at least this part, Nathaniel, and let me know if I'm going too quickly. You go down here to reset labels, and what will happen is this will set up the grandstands for you, and that's super helpful. So boom and boom. Now this is foul territory near third base, foul territory. These are the left field grandstands, right field grandstands, first base, and foul territory behind the plate. So back to the backstop. Okay. Next thing, put on some good music, and you're just going to drag stuff. And so, you know, the white numbers are the bases. So I like to just kind of put them. And this park image isn't showing where bases are, but you know, come on, it's no big deal. Okay, and then just start dragging everybody into position. And again, their position isn't going to be dictated. It's just you want to try to get close. What you think would work. It's not going to affect gameplay. Everything is that's already done. Why this is? I was saying this is important though. Is if you've selected another ballpark as an alternate image and decide to do it, but you didn't set this stuff up, then it's going to be a bit of a mess. Alright. Alright, so we have our infield set up except for our pitcher and catcher. So we're going to drag him up there. There's no fast way to do this. There's a few things that people have written to try to automatically place these, and I found them to not be very good. So just drag people to where they go, and yeah, if you get lucky, you can even line them up. Sometimes I can't. It really doesn't matter. Get them close. And yeah, this is an absolute pain in the ass right here. I always like to try to see if I can get them even. There we go. And then put your on-deck home, on-deck road. Of course, if you want to be, you know, each park did it differently. And in fact, at one time in older baseball, it was actually customary to have the home on-deck circle on the third base side. So switch that up. Again, grandstands are set. This park is ready to play. I'm going to move. Well, no, it's not ready to play. I haven't done the outfield fences yet. Again, this is not the best ballpark to use. So you have these negatives, positives. This is basically fence heights. So we already have left field here. That's the bottom of the left field fence. Drag this to the top. Now, this does have to do with ball flight. So you don't want to do something ridiculous like this, in other words. Okay? So these things they're a little bit more than cosmetic. They don't affect or ballpark factors, but they do have to do with chalkboard animations. Okay? Ah, you're welcome, Nathaniel. All right, and then let's move our center fielder in a little bit. There we go. Again, now your center field fence, there's there, and you can just use the picture as your guide. Left field, maybe bring this down a little bit, or left center, bring this up to the top. And this is just a very zen thing, man. Really fun to just put on music, chill out, or maybe have an Ernie Harwell ball game, classic baseball on the radio, something, and then do it. This park is ready to play. It's ready to go. Just click save. That's it. That's how you do ballparks in Action PC Baseball. And so hopefully this quick and dirty, kind of very rapid fire thing helped you. There we go. And with that, I think we're going to call it a night. Unless you have any questions. And again, I strongly urge you to, not only read the manual, but you're not going to find everything in the manual. It does a good job explaining kind of a lot of the game, but a lot of the intricacies of the game you're not going to get. You're going to have to get it through trial and error, through watching Steve's excellent instructional videos, asking questions in the forum. Don't be afraid to experiment. You're most welcome. You are most welcome. It's very gracious. So, and then World's Worst Gamer says if you don't have to have the ballpark on. again, there's the chalkboard. I would say, and while World's Worst Gamer is right, I'm going to respectfully just say it is a matter of taste. I've tried playing without the chalkboard, and I hate it. I like the movement. Yeah, it's not out of the park baseball, certainly, but I think it's more immersive to have it going. But that's for me personally, so I'm not saying World's Worst Gamer is wrong. But yeah, all the stuff I showed you with ballparks, if you're not using the video chalkboard, yeah, you don't need to do all that. But I don't know anybody except you, World's Worst Gamer, who doesn't use the chalkboard. Everybody I know that plays this game plays with the chalkboard turned on. But yeah, as Steve says, to each their own. This is a lot better out of the park. No. Well, again, that's opinion. I would say that they complement each other beautifully. Out of the Park is a great baseball game. It's very polarizing. But again, it's personal. I love Out of the Park baseball, only slightly less. But here's where I would say that this is you know what, though? I've seen glitches even in MLB The Show. So, I kind of go into it, my friend, is I'm not looking for perfection. I've seen weird stuff in Out of the Park. MLB The Show, which is like the best graphic game. I see screen tearing in that. I'm playing it on a PS5. And, PS5 has way more power than MLB The Show needs. They've never done an MLB The Show yet for next-gen consoles. So, yeah, you're funny, Steve. The only reason I haven't bought it, Steve, yet is I'm starting a new job on July 5th. I really do need to watch my finances. It's not like it's going to break me. I could easily slap it on a credit card or whatever, but being kind of in between jobs right now, I really, just want to hang on. I will get to Super Mega Baseball 4. Absolutely. I've got the other 3, so why not? But no, that's fine. I mean, as long as the YouTube algorithm doesn't pick up. You didn't say that's okay. It's if you would have added the ED on it, that then YouTube might have had a cow, but it's all good. Out of the Park Baseball can do Action PC and Out of the Park Baseball can do what each does, right? They can. The difference for me is this. Action PC makes it easier, much easier. Out of the Park Baseball, one of the things I think it does better than Action PC is tournaments, by far. Out of the Park Baseball is better for that. You want to do a World Series in Out of the Park Baseball, basically 3 mouse clicks, you're done. With this one, you've got to set up a league, whatever. However, all that being said, if I want to work at the player level to create, like Steve's working on his all-time great franchises, which he says he has 64 teams created, and I just want to know if he's going to let me beta test them, and I hope he will. Thank you. It will. It's a means to an end right now. I'm working on a book that's about a third of the way through, and people that have read some galleys of it really like it. So I'm hoping, I still have to do the illustrations for it yet and design the cover, but I'm hoping to have this book done by the end of the year and edited and sent off. We'll see what happens. So this paycheck is so I can just keep writing and keep creating arts and doing the other stuff I do. Anyhow, so working at the team level, these two are equal. They are equal. It's when you get to the player level that there is a departure between Action PC and Out of the Park Baseball. So creating this kind of league, I could duplicate this league literally in like 10 minutes in Out of the Park Baseball, just as easy. But what if I wanted to create a team or a league like this? The one that's going to be coming up in your screen for a minute. And here's where Action PC does blow Out of the Park out of the park, if you don't mind my saying. It's something like this. Okay, so let's just pick this 1930s, and I just called them the Garrigs. And for me to bring in these players onto a fictional team in Out of the Park Baseball, I can do it, but the only way I can do it is by creating a comma delimited text file to import these players onto a team. Whereas with this team, the Garrigs, and I said I wanted to bring in Paul Wainer, so we could bring in Paul Wainer if I have one of his oh, this is baseball history collection, so actually I could do player and I could import a player. Alright. And I could go to the baseball history collection. This is so much easier than Out of the Park Baseball. As soon as I find the baseball history master. And pretty sure Lloyd Wainer had 5,000 plate appearances, whatever. So it'll do this, and I can't do teams because there are not teams in here, so I'm going to do free agents. And it's going to take this a minute to load in because this is a massive file and this is a subset. Okay. Now I can scroll down here and look for my friend Lloyd Wainer, who I know is in here. Has to be. Sorry, my eyes just get a little bugged out. And this window you can't resize. There's Lloyd. And import players, 1. Import 1 player. And done. And exit. And now Lloyd Wainer's on here. Wherever he went. He is on here somewhere. There he is. Right down at the bottom. There's Brother Lloyd to Paul Wainer. So for one player in Out of the Park Baseball and Action PC Baseball, super simple. But what if I wanted to bring in, and I don't want to do this, but what if I wanted to bring in 10 players? Well, on this, it's really, really super simple. I would just, again, go to Player, Import Players. Anything that you have installed, you can bring in players from. If I wanted to bring in somebody from, let's say, one of Steve Tate's 5-year, like, say, National League. So I can do this and do teams. And it's got to be, of course, somebody from the 1930s. Let's see, who do we got from Cincinnati? And maybe I want to bring in, I'm going to forget how to do this, so I'll just show you. I can just check off as many players as I want. Boom, boom, boom. Pick up a couple pictures. And then, right, it's showing that this is ready to import 10 players. I just click import 10 players, and it will ask me if I'm sure, and it'll be done. Let me just deselect them and exit. In Out of the Park Baseball, I would have had to create a comma delimited text file of those 10 players to bring them in. I would say that this is somewhat easier to navigate. A book on the various baseball? No, unfortunately, no. I don't have enough money to have all the baseball sims to write on them, so no. It's not about that. It's actually, I'll let you guys know at some point. Not yet. Not yet, not yet. But there's one I am going to be doing this, a sequel to it that does have to do with baseball and a retelling of Jackie Robinson for younger audiences and for baseball fans that are Egypts. So, anyhow, so yeah, but Nathaniel, the thing is about this game is it looks simpler than Out of the Park Baseball. Oh, no, I don't even know where Robbie is. Is he even, like, even when he's home now, he doesn't come in too much anymore. Let's check and see here what's going on. Besides that, my Pirates are playing tonight. Hey, we won last night. I'll be damned, we won tonight too. Yay! Alright, so there we go. Let's see, where is Robbie? Yeah, is Robbie shirking, or is he actually working? See what I did there? Yeah. But nope. Robbie, we'll never see Robbie tonight because he had to work today. So, okay. Hard-working man he is. The thing is, Nathaniel, what gets kind of tricky about this one is, and I know Steve himself said he doesn't really look at these, but you have all of these menu choices, and man, are we about to have a crash here? I hope not. When you work with the baseball history collection, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. But then you have all these menu choices up here, and that's where you really get into the super, super deep dive. But there we go. Robbie, a good, wholesome, conservative woman. Well, anyhow. So when you go in here, this is where you start to get really this game gets as in depth. So it's probably, I would say it is a little bit easier than Out of the Park in some respects. Is it better? It's better for creating what you want. The actual baseball engine, they're both excellent games. And if you can afford them both, you should get them both. And Out of the Park Baseball goes on sale a lot of time through the years, just as this game has a lot of sales. And by the way, right now, gentlemen, before we end this here, DK Sports, still another sale going on, man. Still another sale. Let's go to the shop. And this is one of the reasons why we love Dave Cook. Of course, the 20% off all purchases over $100. But there's some stuff for sale, or stuffies for sale. So you can go and spend a lot of money on PC Replay Baseball, which is really just a translation of the board game to your computer screen. Or you can get something with deeply customizable AI and baseball seasons. So how about $4 here? What is this? $4.72 for the 1950 baseball season. I mean, come on, $4 as opposed to what, $26.99 on PC Replay. But most of you are into more modern baseball. Okay, regular price for these seasons is $15. You're already two-thirds less than PC Replay, or a third less than PC Replay Baseball. $7.86. This is like all the time sales, man. All the time sales. Even newer seasons, everything up to 2021, man. What? So you're gonna pay for the 2017 season download, for instance. Regular price $15. It's $9.59. You can't beat it. You can't beat it, man. Yeah, great prices. $4 and change, man. If you want, and you're like me, you like older baseball. So let's look at the 1920s. Check this out. Fill it out, man. $4.72 a season. You can't beat it. Yeah. There you go. So, good stuff. Complete Decades are on sale right now. So, think about this. For $52, which is more than what a Complete Decade costs in Action PC Baseball, you can get 2 seasons in PC Replay Baseball, a translated board game, which is a fine game, but it's nowhere near as in-depth as this game. Or, for $47.89, get all the 1900s or the 1910s. If you're like like most people here, get all the 1980s. $47.89, right? A Complete Decade is still cheaper than 2 seasons from PC Replay Baseball. Christopher Slovic just got back from the Buccos game. Wait, or did they play at home tonight? No, they played in San Diego. Would you go out to California? Dude, seriously? Oh, no, they played at home. Okay. Yeah, and we won 9-4. We won 9-4. Yeah, look at those decade prices, right? Oh, using the City Connect jerseys. Cool. Maybe they need to wear them the rest of the season, huh? Or at least until O'Neal Cruz gets back. Yep, 9-4. 9-4. We got to catch fire again like we did in April and at least earlier part of June. We were in first place for a while, but now those damn. Well, hopefully the Reds. I know they were in a rain delay in Baltimore, and I live close to Baltimore actually, so you know. So, 1938. I didn't. So Nathaniel, cool, doing some 1930s baseball. So, this is a great way to when you have the money and these sales are on. When you have if you got what it's $48, man. So even if you got $50, you can get two teams in PC Replay Baseball, or get a whole decade here, and have a wealth of baseball. Baseball Complete, by the way, is on sale right now, and because my eyes are fuzzy, so right now it's $446.25, but because it's over $100, you get 20% off of this. 20% off. So it's actually coming in like at 300 and what 380, 390, something like that. This thing used to be $995. Its regular price is $595. This is every season. It's not every product, but it is every season from 1880 to I believe to last year to 2022. So I mean, I think what MV, we've had two people that were able to do this in one go, and we were a bunch of geeks when MV did it. So sales everywhere. Negro Leagues, $9.59. Everything. Look at it. Everything is just for sale everywhere. Classic Decades. Again, done shilling now for Action PC for tonight. No, not too many people can. Not too many people. Oh, you're 70 miles from Baltimore? Okay. Yeah, so where I am in PA, Dwayne, I can go see the Nationals, the Orioles, and the Phillies. So, all within driving distance. My Pirates, a little further. I'm on the wrong side of the Commonwealth, unfortunately. But, yeah. Yeah. I love both games. I mean, I really, really do. Love them both. I mean, but just by way of illustration, and I apologize for all the icons, but this is the way it's the way I jam, dude. So let's bring up good old action or out of the park baseball because it deserves love, and we'll update it. Oh yeah, that's $400 for passport. Wow. So passports are more expensive than Canada than they are in the United States. $400. Oof. Yeah, before 9/11, you could just drive across the border. You didn't need passports. How about it? Oh, I guess that's something else that's changed forever too, isn't it? So do I. I have an Asus. I have a Strix, Nathaniel. And love it. Absolutely love it. And boy, is this thing way back. There we go. Should be showing out of the park. Yeah. Love it, love it, love it. I need a new one though. This one is, I bought it a couple years ago. It's got a GTX 1660 Ti in it, which is really good. But I want to play Starfield. And Starfield requires at a minimum an I believe an RTX card. So it's going to be time, and then this one will just be for music and monitoring chat and things like that. But still a damn fine computer. I love Asus. This is quite a patch here from Out of the Park 24. Jeez. Oh, nice, man. Nice. Yeah, you've got a nice Asus there, man. Excellent. I love Asus computers, dude. I have 3 of them. Two older than this one, but I never had trouble with these. They're great. I love Asus. So just to be fair, gotta do a little bit of out of the park love. The problem that out of the park suffers is, I think, twofold. First, for a baseball tech sim, it scares away the guys that just want utilitarian graphics. It's got beautiful graphics for a baseball tech sim, in my opinion. Nothing's going to touch this thing for graphics in a tech sim, because that's really what it is. And it's excellent. Is it MLB The Show? No, but it's excellent. The other thing is that most people mistakenly think this is just a GM sim. And I've been playing out of park baseball since the very first iteration in 1999, and I have never played with financials. I couldn't give a rat's ass about the price of hot dogs and beers and ticket prices. I don't care. I just really, 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 really don't care. But let's go to custom game. Or no, we talked about exhibitions. Okay. So historical exhibition is also a tournament, right? And so this is, I think, a little faster. So to do a World Series in Action PC Baseball, I'd have to set up the league, drag the teams in. Here, as you know, you can just select the World Series and you're ready to go. It's that simple. So, I mean, here it is, right? Pick your era, pick your World Series. And this is, we got a couple Pirates fans in here now finally, so, you know, I already have 1971 in there, so 1979, there it is. You get a nice recap, create exhibition, the World Series is ready to go. So faster and out of the park baseball. As far as setting up custom leagues, again, it's really powerful at the team level. And you can use fiction when you hit fictional, right? You can use fictional players, real players, or a combination of each. I never use fictional players; don't like them. And it's really, really simple to just put in the teams you want. All right, we're just going to leave everything like this. I'm not going to finish this whole thing, obviously. So these are some of the things out of the park baseball does well. And yes, you can edit players and you can manage at the player levels. Switch to historical team selection. All right, I want a year. So I don't know. Let's say the 1885 Chicago White Stockings, right? So I could do this tournament that we just did, this Ken Castro tournament. I could set this up as a season right here. There's the White Stockings. Love it. Who else we want to put in here? How about the 1894 Baltimore Orioles? There they are, and it's simpler. I think this is simpler, or on par. However, let's get out of here. And Christopher Slovic would be the expert on this. If you ever look at his Creators Cup series, Chris, how many teams did you have? Yeah, right. I actually didn't see your message until then. Another good channel to subscribe to, Nathaniel. Oh yeah, well there's two of us here. Christopher and I are Pirate fans. There's only a few of us actually in here, in this community, Pirate fans. So yeah, he has 90 teams in it, man. It's crazy. How many years come with out of the park baseball, Dwayne? 1871 to the present season. So, but not only just Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, and Negro League Baseball as well. And all the alternate major leagues come with this game as well. So everything. Out of the Park gives you everything at full price of $39.95, and again, it goes on sale a lot. And it's a good baseball engine. So Dwayne, you can play right along with the regular season if you wanted to right now. Just click New Standard Game, and you can play right along with the 2023 season. Or from here, you can select Historical Game and any historical season from 1871 to 2022. Set up your own custom game, your own quick start. Again, down here is tournaments. Workshop Central, which is really, really cool. You can actually go to the workshop. I haven't gone in. I just got the two big mods here. Major League Stadiums, 1901 to present, and historical uniforms and jerseys and such, 1901 to present. So, good stuff. Working at the player level is what sucks. But I'll show you what I mean as far as, can you edit? Yes, you can. So let's go to this all-time greatest here, all-time great franchises, which will pale to Steve Tate's, obviously. All right. So let's go to player list, and let's go to the Big Hurt, and there he is. There's the editor. If there's anything I don't like about Frank Thomas, I can edit. I can edit Frank Thomas just like I can in Action PC Baseball. So again, pretty deep stuff here. Also, these two are equal in terms of being a baseball encyclopedia, an organic encyclopedia. I think who used that term. So I can look at Thomas's real-time stats. There it is, and I can do it to real pitching, real batting, neutralize pitching, career totals, all that kind of stuff. League scope, AA, AAA. How did he do all the way down? This tracks his entire baseball career. There's all his standings, ratings, again, everything you can edit. You can even create baseball cards if you want to, which you can in Action PC as well. So let's create a new one. Optional. I'm not going to even do anything here. I'm just going to do this. And there we go. Look, it created a really cool Frank Thomas baseball card, which is kind of fun, which I'm now going to delete. So you can get to the player level. It's deep. It's deep. Are the logo and stadium pictures and player pictures to add? I'm thinking you're meaning hard to add. Nope. So if you buy it, if you buy this game on Steam, you basically just go to the workshop, subscribe to the mod, download it in-game, and the game will install it. So just to show you how that works, let's go back to the start screen. The pictures, Dwayne, if you have Action PC Baseball, those same player photos will work in Out of the Park Baseball, so just copy them. But let's say I wanted to load a game. We're doing the 1915 World Series. Or let's do 1934, because I'm doing a 1934 season replay. So here's the box, and just to show you how it properly assigns the logos. If you have this mod, it'll properly assign the logo and the ballpark. So for the Cardinals, let's go to their team home screen, go to settings, and we're going to do edit ballpark. And so here's the PRK file. The PRK file in Action PC Baseball, basically park effects, which, there you go. You can change everything in here too. There's its pictures, its coordinates. You can use photos that you have in Action PC if you want. There's actually a 2D mode in this game, but there's the 3D model, and you can change up cameras in this thing and everything. So it's pretty cool. It's not MLB level. The parks that come with the game are beautiful, but this is very serviceable. This is a very nice sportsman's park, and we can move all over the place here, change it, tilt it, whatever we want to do. We can make all kinds of different cameras with it. Yep. This even has a ballpark creator in it, which is nice. Ball locations you never have to mess with, by the way, and you probably wouldn't want to. But anyhow, if we go to Cardinals, team home screen, and actually schedule, let's go to schedule, and I'll show you just really quickly. We're not going to do a whole game. So Phillies. Now let's do St. Louis. Let's do Yankees Athletics. Okay, and always play as commissioner, so that way you can manage different teams. Okay, read important message. Don't want to configure buttons. Highly configurable game. Play game versus Yankees. Lineups, no warm-up required. Shibe Park. I'm going to click Start Game, and see these are the proper. These are the proper logos for those years. And there we are. We're at Shibe. There's that right field fence. And I can change to different camera views. So maybe I want to go overview if I want to get a better look at Shibe. And these parks, unlike Action PC Baseball, Dwayne, these are geo-referenced. So distances in this game are actually to scale in Out of the Park Baseball, which I think is really cool. But super easy to add these. And you have so many different options. I know, Chris, don't you usually play... Well, Chris has all these widgets and everything. You can put these pretty much anywhere you want. I think Chris plays, I think behind the bat or something. But what if you want, like, there's like a 70s home plate TV cameras there. Again, not as sexy as MLB The Show. But if we actually moved Doc Kramer out there, you would actually see names in the jersey. It's a brilliant, brilliant baseball game. I love it. I wouldn't necessarily say that one is better than the other. Oops. What do we want here? Behind the mound. There's an action cam. So many things you can do with the game. Hey, hey, hey! There's PQ Ribber coming in to talk to us for a few minutes here. Okay, so Chris says he loves the widgets, does that camera, and then when they hit, he pulls back. Also set the speed to slow. Best tip in the world for this game. Chris let us know in the community about that. I don't know how this is going to work because I don't have follow the ball on, but let's just try. There we go. Oh yeah, see, you need to have this panned out to see that beautiful opening pan around a ballpark. But still, nice little opening. Nonetheless, I don't know what's going to happen here after he hits the ball, though. And you can keep changing these through the game. The other thing, of course, with this is if you want more stats than this, you can definitely do that. You can just go to Classic 3D View, and now you've got gobs and gobs and gobs of stats. A lot more detailed. I don't usually use this, but you can. Fun stuff. Anybody that you let's go back to, yeah, and any player you click on, you can get all his information, even down to the strategy used for that player. You can't change them in game, obviously, but there you go. And we'll return to game action, and there, we're just doing our review. We'll just let another one go here. You can also click the setting where the scoreboard bar disappears when the ball is hit. You can. I leave it up there because when I'm doing things, if I have to look up here while the play is going on in case I'm not sure what's going on, I leave it on. My complaint, if there's any about Action PC Baseball, is this. Right? Or about Out of the Park Baseball. Action PC Baseball, you can set to leave these... right, on defense, leave the labels on. And this, they will shut off no matter what mode you're in. So you got to kind of know that, or you got to fake it. That's only if you're a content creator. If you're not, don't worry about it. So anyhow, I know this was a whole bunch, but yeah, notice what Chris said about the slow speed. So this looks, and I want to shut this up, but it really looks more like a ball game would look. You also notice here these guys are wearing the high, see that? Like the knickers and the stirrups. That's a mod also for Out of the Park Baseball. So you can have these guys, and if you zoom in, they're like, their uniforms look really good. They are the uniforms from that time. But I want to get back to the view that I like, and that's the modern 3D view. I don't know why, I just like it better. And wasn't even planning on going into this game, but there we are. Initial camera view is going to be overview. And you can change these anytime in the game. Overview. And action camera overview. Now nothing will change. So Red Ruffing's going to pitch to Rabbit Worsler. You can also play this game if you want. Play it pitch by pitch. But I would say, again, after this all, so when you have the scoreboard disappear, right? I like the scoreboard up there. What I want them to do is I want an option like Action PC where I can say, you know, Doc Kramer swings, this one hit out to deep left, Ben Chapman back. If I don't remember that Ben Chapman's the right fielder here, I'm going to say out to the right field, and I'm going to cheat up here and say, and Ben Chapman making a nice catch in right field. Whereas in Action PC, I can see those player labels stay up there, and I wish they would do that for Action PC. I probably should show Dwayne. We're just going to simulate this one. Okay. And the Yankees win 9-6. Ta-da! Okay, let's leave game. Show Dwayne how this works. So we go back to the out of the park start screen, and I'm actually going to bring up Steam. There. So we're going to go to the workshop, Dwayne, if you're still here. And here are the things that you can do. Now, if you're a Steam player, if you use Steam, it's a little weird. If you're not, you're actually an advantage because you won't be like, oh, how does that work? But what you do is you select and you subscribe to it. Now, for most Steam games, when you subscribe to something, pardon me, in the workshop, it will download. This doesn't do that. So once you subscribe to it, then you go in here to Workshop Central, and then it will show your subscribed items. You would highlight it, and it says here, it won't say this. It will say download workshop item. You'll download and install it, and it will do it. And the ballparks probably take about 8 minutes, if that. The logos are even faster, and it's ready to go. And no matter what you select, what season you select a World Series, you select 4 teams to play a tournament, you play the 1929 Athletics against the 1986 Mets, they will have the proper ballparks. It's just so sweet that way. The problem is mass player import in out-of-the-park baseball. It's a pain in the ass. Videos would make it very nice if they stayed on screen. Yeah. So, but Christopher, it might be cool for you sometime, because I would say you are as much of a guru of this game as Steve Tate is of Action PC Baseball, though it might not be in your interest to do so, to maybe kind of do a tutorial sometime after your Creators Cup is over, to help people get around out-of-park baseball, because it's really, really worth it. It's such a good game. As I'm about to click it off. And it auto-saves, which is really, really nice. And now we got to bring up Diamond Mine Baseball just to hide all that. There we go. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming in. I probably, maybe, kind of, sort of thinking about doing another game, not with my voice, though, but just whatever, Harwell game or MLB The Show. That said, we are done. We'll be back again for some more baseball live broadcast tomorrow, and we'll go back to the decades teams, I think, and pick whoever's playing tomorrow. I have no idea. Hey, you're welcome, Dwayne, anytime. Again, guys, please subscribe to Dwayne Mart's YouTube network. You'll see him a lot. He's a great supporter of all the content creators, and he himself is an excellent content creator. So do check that out. Christopher Slovic, thank you very much. Please subscribe to that channel. World's Worst Gamer, he is the enforcer here. PQ Ribber. Oh my goodness gracious, what can we say about PQ Ribber? philosopher, theologist, theosopher, musician, eclectic dude, and all-around cool person. Thank you, man. Nathaniel, man, so glad you're part of our little family here. Welcome aboard again, as always. Who else do we have in here tonight? It was a smaller crowd tonight, but quality. Well, except for Steve Tate, he was in here, but that's okay. We like Steve. Aaron Reed was with us tonight. Clinton Parks, thank you, the professor. Ken Castro was in here. Damn it. I didn't know Cousin Ken was in here. I'm sorry, Cousin. The heart and soul of this channel. Dave Little, what a gentleman. Subscribe to that channel. Excellent. Legend Sports Network, absolutely superb. And I mean that. Big Clue was in here as well. So that's it. Yo, Christopher, yeah, before I go, man, let me ask you a question. So I looked at that site today. Do you think it's because I'm designing a site right now for a business, which has kind of kept me from designing my baseball site, and which is going to be a way to get people to PayPal a few bucks to say thank you to Steve for these 5-year franchise files and all the work that he's done. But before you go, so Christopher, do you think, is that worth investing in? I mean, how much would you say there's a lot of, because I want to do this for a business, and I'd like to try to put in a couple little informational videos. I just wanted to get your honest opinion on it. I mean, I looked at the pricing, and it seems like, so when it says like 40-minute video, does that mean I don't need to make a 40-minute video, but that gives me 40 minutes of credits, but I can make like a 5-minute video or a 3-minute video? Is that the way that works, Christopher? Because I like it, and thank you. Guys, check out those videos on there. They're hilarious, and they're freaky cool. Sleep well, Steve. Oh my God, are you kidding me, Nathaniel? You are most welcome. Yeah, 40 total minutes. The biggest chunk is 2 minutes. Okay, that's good to know, because I wanted to do some stuff with Pictory, and I would do like the voiceover on that, but use Pictory. But those kinds of videos are getting so overused that I kind of like that what you were doing there with that. So the biggest chunk is 2 minutes. 2 minutes now, but they say they're extending. Okay, still in beta. The pricing is really good. I was really surprised. Really surprised, because I was looking at the larger amounts of credits, like for 40-minute video, it was like $20. And I'm thinking, for something that good, I mean, imagine, right, getting an actor or doing it yourself, and wow. So that thing is going to take off once it comes out of beta. So, all right. Thank you, Christopher, for that info. And hey, way to go, Bucks. All right, guys. We'll see you around the batting cage. And like I said, probably either going to be an Ernie Harwell game or probably MLB The Show. Haven't done MLB The Show in weeks on this channel. So if anybody's still awake, we may not get a lot of viewership now. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. A little MLB The Show tonight. As the game gets intense, you're going to make up quotes and rivalries. The one, oh my God. With the asides, you were talking about the one, but there's the other one there too, and I'm not going to say the name, capital name, in vain, but when he said that, I'm like, right, because you get this vibe that it's this 1980, what is it, 1980 CBS, you picked it, and the anchor's like, Christ, can they win anything or whatever. I just absolutely lost it. It was funny. And definitely Christopher's humor's in there, but guys, check it out. It's so cool, and I think a couple people weren't sure if it was AI or not. So, all right, guys, thank you. See you around the batting cage, and probably MLB The Show in about 10 minutes or so. Take care, and good night, and thank you, everyone.